Welcome everyone. We're going to start by Attorney Tim Zollinger, representing the City Attorney's Office, is going to explain some legalities here and also some legal constraints that the City Council is under. After that, we will take public comments, limited to 2 minutes each. Then the City Council will be going into executive session. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Attorney Tim Zollinger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to briefly comment. The position of Director of Public Works was created by the City of Dixon by Ordinance 2157, which was adopted on January 3rd, 2005. This ordinance specified that the position is appointed by the Mayor with the advice and consent of the City Council. Mr. Ortgiesen was subsequently appointed by the Mayor and approved by the Commissioners. Mr. Ortgiesen was then administered an oath of office. Due to the nature of this position, and because the employment is with a governmental entity, there are certain due process protections that should be afforded prior to any further disciplinary action, including any possible removal from office. These protections require notice, opportunity to be heard, an opportunity to address any alleged employment concerns being levied against the individual. Prior to proceeding to an actual hearing of this nature, it is important that a municipality gather the necessary information, deliberate on the issue as permitted by law, and then proceed to schedule any hearing or meeting in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. Due process is not always expedient and sometimes can conflict with the public's desire for immediate action. It is important, however, that the city comply with these constitutional obligations and proceed fairly and appropriately. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tim. At this time, if there's anyone that wishes to make comment, please come to the microphone, clearly state your name and address, and we'll be allowed to
Might as well go first. I gotta go back to work. Deonde, 497 Palmyra. All I gotta say real quick is I think the reason that we're all here is because we didn't have closure from last time, and the closure I'm talking about is you see a ship going down to sea, a captain with integrity goes down with the ship, but we still have you, Mayor Burke, and you, Mr. Blackburn, that were on this board the whole time this is going on, and we might not have anything to do with it, but as citizens we look at it like, you guys dropped the ball, and you're still here like nothing happened, and we keep having to have cameras in our city for stuff that's no good for our city, and we're sick of it. So, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jacob Madison, 1312 West 9th Street, Dixon, Illinois. Still got your junkyard up on my house, bud. I hope you do something about it. And he was right. Us taxpayers lost a lot of money. Not one of you people lost money. You all got your checks. You all got your big salaries. Congratulations. But you also let the people of Dixon down. Not we are the people of Dixon. Not we are Dixon. Not that little thing there. Because I'm Dixon. I'm a taxpayer. I do not like this. But how do we stop it? You all interpret law. You all interpret policies. What are we supposed to do? We stole this country from the Indians. We destroyed it from the East Coast to the West Coast. Now the Indians are destroyed. So now you're stealing from each other. Now you're stealing from the taxpayers. Rita living high on the horse. You guys living high on the hog. All taxpayers' dollars. Did not deserve it. You have not been doing your job. You've been doing what's good for you, not for the people of Dixon. That needs to be taken care of. As far as I'm concerned, you're all fired. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Jordan Bowman. Address is 631 Montclair Street, apartment 12, Dixon. There's a word that elected officials on all levels of government, federal, state, local, like to throw around like candy the past few years. That word is entitlement or entitled. If this situation with Mr. Ortgiesen, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, goes to a criminal case, then yes, he is entitled to all the luxuries afforded to him under our Constitution. He's entitled to legal counsel, due process, etc. He is not, nor is anyone, entitled to a job. A job must be earned. You must work for that job. You must work to keep earning that trust and respect, and he has broken that with a very nice salary, I might add. I wish I had that salary. Just like his job, your jobs are not entitlements. You are not entitled to them. Even if you had nothing to do with this, you are not entitled to your positions. You must work for them. You must earn our respect and trust. Even if you think that we're just a bunch of dumb hillbilly rednecks, your opinion of us is irrelevant. We are your bosses. And come 2 years, you will face judgment for the past 4 years, which so far, fellas, it don't look too good. Now, this town loves to use the image and namesake of Ronald Reagan. So I will simply leave you with a quote from Ronald Reagan. In this country, the government does not tell the people what it can and cannot do. We, the people, tell the government what it can and cannot do. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have much more than I can, than the other.
Name and
My name is Francis.
address.
My name is Francis Ayers. I live at 1624 West 2nd Street in Dixon, Illinois. And I concur with the gentleman who has spoken before me, but I only have simple words. I sum it up as this. A man who cannot handle his personal finances and must live higher than many of the Dixon citizens live, he has no place in our government. Because if he cannot handle his personal finances, I don't trust him in my government. And I do believe he should be fired. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is David Rock. I live at 708 East 3rd Street. My only complaint on all of this, really, you guys need help. You are not capable of doing your job. That is so evident, it's unbelievable. And my only complaint is that you're dragging your feet, bringing in someone that would steer you people in the correct direction. Because we have a real estate man, we have a travel agent. That doesn't make you capable of running the city. It's just that simple. Are you trying hard? I'm sure every one of you are. I'm sure you're all fine individuals and good people. But you need help. And until you understand that, this city's right now is so divided. You go into Shopko, you go into any store, all they do is talk about you people and how bad you are. Correct it. And how do you correct it? By getting help. If I can't do a job somehow, I need a supervisor. I need somebody to help me. You people need help. It's so evident. Why won't you admit it? I'm sure you don't make a ton of money at this job. I know you probably don't. What's the big deal? Get help. Now with Mr. whatever his name is, possibly we're going to get rid of him. Use his salary. Hire somebody from outside the district that could help every one of you guys and steer you in the correct direction. If I gave my kid a credit card, I check that credit card every month to see where she's spending my money. Where were you guys in 07, 08, 09, 010, and all these years? Never checked this? That's not the way to run a city, guys. I'm sorry. I respect you all, and I wish you all the best because the city may need you people. But geez, do something right. I mean, we're 0 for 2 right now with this board. Let's get it together. God bless you. You guys need help.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Gene Bearstaff, 728 Eastern Avenue. When I come up here, I seen this lady sitting there at that sign, and I told her, I said, they'll be calling you the crazy old lady. But they call me the crazy old man up there. I even had one gentleman there, Mr. Blackburn, he come up and he said I had high blood pressure because I've got red face. So to make a long story short here, I'd like to enlighten some people around here. On Mr. Burke's transition out here, $38,775 what Mr. Burke got. This is what goes on in this town. It's nothing but greed, abuse of power, and corruption.
That's right.
And until we get rid of some of these people, will always be there. Mr. Burke, you think you're above the law, but you will come down. You may be above the law here in town, but you're not above the law everywhere. People in this town should go right down the metal salvage yard down here, and they can tell you the whole story of what kind of person you are. You like to go in without a search warrant, don't you? You like to do it all, don't you? How many squad cars did it take you to get away from down there? You know what? You was only worried about chump change because it was happening to you. But you know it excited when somebody else took sticks, no, did you? How can you be so two-faced? My name is Gene Bearstaff. Remember, I'm the guy that you put weeds up over their head. And people want to know why I'm upset. When you put 2 fingers over a person's nose and hand over his mouth and try to stuff him, you're what? You're low on the wheel, buddy. You have a good day, Mr. Burke. And by the way, you too, Mr. Blackburn. I hope to see Mr. Burke go out, and when he does, he should beat you around and find his co-partner in crime and to get him by the hand and shake him off too. Don't BS me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
All right, anytime, Mr. Burke. Oh, and I would like to add one thing, please. If Mr. Ortgiesen gets gone, please don't let him come back as a consultant. It can happen in this town, and it will.
That's for sure.
And a lot more money.
There you go. Thank you.
Jill Poliska, 186 Grand Oaks Lane in the Woods subdivision in Dixon. Last August, we sat here with 4 other residents, a couple of businessmen, and you brought up Mr. Ortgiesen's salary. And we told you, I believe it was Colleen Brashon that was the only one that wanted to table it. But you jumped feet first into this without making sure that he was squeaky clean. We just come out of the Crunwell fiasco, and we're in the Ortgiesen fiasco now. I just want to be brief, but I do want to read on the SaukValley.com site. I hate that word transparency. I like common sense more, okay? Because I don't think we have transparency. According to today's article, you're still working on it. But read some of these comments from my concerned citizens that couldn't make it because it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He partied with Rita. He borrowed money from Rita. His house is in foreclosure, but there is nothing wrong here. Move along, folks. I thought it strange that this guy was awarded a promotion by the mayor and the city council, especially considering his personal connections with Rita. Maybe it was hush money. Dixon voters need to clean house if they expect to rid themselves of this ongoing corruption and incompetence. Shameful scandal from the hometown of Ronald Reagan. One of my favorites is this. I don't care if he pays it back twice over. It's stealing, and the decision to fire and prosecute should take about 10 seconds. That goes for all those who had dealings with Rita. It is obvious they all knew something was up. It's convenient that when Rita got busted, this activity ceased. Do it right, please.
Thank you, Jill.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Good afternoon. I'm Josie Whaley, and I live at 605 North West Street. And I guess I was here the night that Jill was talking about when we approached the council about the $8,000 raise that Mr. Ortgiesen was offered and making him the HR manager. And I guess that's the one thing, the concern that I do have. To be an HR manager, you should have certain qualifications. You should have certain education. I believe he even offered to educate him to get him to be able to do this job. But if you don't fire him, if you don't prosecute him, and you leave him as HR manager, how can he discipline another employee? There is no way that if I worked for the city of Dixon and he told me to do whatever, I would say, wait a minute, you got by with doing that, and now you're telling me I can't do so and so? So think about that. Another thing, that you say it's not in the policy handbook, that it's not against the policy to use a city credit card. That should be common sense. All of us have credit cards to a business or to, I volunteer at the food pantry. I have a credit card to the food pantry, but does that give me permission to charge my groceries to them? No. So common sense. Again, if I was correct, he was hired in 05. Am I correct?
January 3rd, 2005.
2005. It took him 2 years to start using a city credit card to pay for personal things. And who reviewed the credit card bills? Rita Cromwell. Obviously nobody else did. Roy Bridgman apparently didn't review them. Commissioner Blackburn, I believe he's the new accounting person. I would like to know, do you review credit card statements? Do you review bills? Or do you just come up here and say, I make a motion that all outside claims and labor for whatever the amount is be approved, and you all vote aye? That's the concern that I have. You know, she doesn't like the word transparency. Maybe that's not the right word. That's why I asked that stuff be placed on the website, that we have access to that. $9,000 for a treadmill for the fire department. But we don't have paint to paint the stripes at the schools that make the safety crossings okay for our kids. Think about it. But back to Mr. Ortgiesen. Think about him as the HR person and how you would like it if you worked for the city of Dixon and he told you, I'm sorry, you've done something wrong, I have to discipline you. Thank you.
Thank you, Josie.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Diane Berger, 125 Foxtrot. I'm going to read a letter that my husband wrote to all of you. Honorable James Burke, Mayor of Dixon, Dixon City Hall, Dixon, Illinois. Dear Mayor Burke, due to scheduling of Thursday's special council meeting at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, I am unable to attend, but I would like to provide the following comments for your consideration. First, in my previous career as manager of large organizations, we had a policy of not issuing company credit cards to employees. If they had to have a credit card to travel with and, for example, rent a car, because they did not have a personal credit card, we issued the one company credit card to them the day they traveled and they turned it back in the day they returned. The policy of not issuing company credit cards to employees prevents employees with credit problems from misusing company funds. Second, what is the status of the special committee assigned to explore the various styles of city management? In a number of city council meetings I have recently attended, I have not heard any recommendations or even any status of their explorations. In fact, I have not seen any of those committee members attending city council meetings. I do admit I do not know all of these people, so they could be attending without my knowing it. Third, my opinion is that the above committee's work should be made a priority. A new form of government formed that can address and control the city's issues, and only after that should strategic planning activities take place, not before. Proper strategic planning is a long-term process, not short-term. The current form of government will not and cannot continue. I agree with the Telegraph editorial dated April 10, 2013, titled Time to Hire Interim City Manager.